Previously. X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Where do you go when you can't be seen by the public?
That's easy. You go to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, and you listen to Andre type as loudly as he can. And welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Each of us is faced with a unique journey of discovery.
Exactly. A unique journey. That's what Andre's doing over there.
Listen, this is the Andre you get. If this isn't good enough, then find a new co-host. All right.
I am your host. What was that? What a
me.
What a snarky co-host.
I'm busy. I got shit going on. You pushed us back to 10 o'clock, and then you tried to undo it when I was already.
I said 9:30 or 10.
Yeah, and a friend invited me over to show me something when I dropped him off for the meeting, and then I went in because you got your message saying 9:30 or 10, so I seemed to be late.
Was it a Bigfoot?
I wish. No, this isn't big TV, but on Bigfoot.
Come see my big TV.
Yeah, he's got a new one. Okay.
Hey, well, you know, I am your host, Gal Squatch.
Someone else should do it.
Well, maybe you need a new co-host. Maybe somebody else is going to do it.
I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry about this.
I don't know what to say.
But, you know, I do indeed have a co-host.
Don't be hard on yourself. Your need to be out in the world is natural.
Hard on yourself, Andre.
Well,
when you got to go see a big TV, you got to go see a big TV.
As big as just you got to see it. I mean, I don't know what
Wolf's Bondre's here.
Ooh, good.
And, yeah, we're here to review Season 2, Episode 13, Retreat of X-Men Evolution.
What do you think? Initial thoughts?
I like this episode. I like this show lately. Yeah, like I think I've been laying that down like some 8s and 9s lately, and this one might get there as well. Written by Michael Merton and directed by friend of the show, Frankie P. Frank Poor. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm doing it. It's an old sound effect. It's an old sound effect, but I'm launching it anyway. Oh, do I not have a banner for this segment anymore?
What's the segment? Just
rewind.
Rewind.
Well, I'm just gonna be kind and make a banner for my rewind. Rewind. All right. So I'm doing it. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna undo the horrible credits I gave for most of this season. So we have the season starts off with Growing Pains, and it was written by Sidney Clark and Steve Granat, directed by Frank Poor. And Power Surge was written by Doug Molitor and directed by Gary Graham. Bada Bing, Bada Boom, written by Greg Johnson, directed by friend of the show, Stephen E. Gordon, who corrected us and allowed us to figure out our little problem we had.
Very graciously. Thank you, Stephen.
Yes, thank you, Stephen. What do we got here? Power Surge, written by Doug Molitor and directed. Oh, I said that.
You're doing all your retractments.
I'm retracting. I'm doing retraction.
Did you go through and listen to all the things that you got wrong, so you know which ones to correct?
Oh, I did season 1 right. I know that.
Okay.
Because I was just taking it right off the episode. But then I realized this wiki was here, this show wiki. I'm like, why don't I just use that? Well, I guess now we know why.
Well, it's right if you go into the episode. It's just that for some reason, then.
Yeah.
precursor.
But like, where they get these things, because it's completely different route there. Like, where they
Oh,
even get
probably
that.
someone on cocaine just running around in the wilds of the internet, living crazy, wild and free, just tossing out random names for director credits.
Then we have the
Who
arcade
knows what it could be?
episode,
It could be anything.
Fun and Games, written by Brian Swenlin, directed by Frank Bohr. Swenlin, or maybe he's German and it's Svenlin or something.
Svenlin.
But, you know, directed by Frank Bohr.
Is that a straight Scotch?
You bet she is.
That's a heavy.
That's how I
pour.
drink my scotch.
The heavy pour or a lot of ice.
Well, it's one of those big cubes.
Ice in your whiskey.
Oh, I'm an ice in my whiskey, man. I'm on the rocks, baby. Because I like that slow.
Might have to kick you out of the whiskey club.
Slow dilution. No, but I'll also shoot the whiskey, but I don't want to sip it. I like to keep it a little.
Sip
chill.
it without. You don't shoot it, and you don't put ice in it. You drink it without ice in
drink
it.
No, with a little ice, because that slow dilution, it gives you these different notes as it goes.
You can put a drop or two in. That's it. Ice is too much.
No, you use a big cube because then it melts real slow.
Or you get those whiskey stones, the soap stones.
I got some of those too, actually. My buddy Franny gave me some of those.
Yeah.
And then there's the Beast of Bayville. I haven't used them yet, though. I should try them.
Yeah, I never found them that great, but anyway.
No, well, I feel like they'll get warm pretty fast. Written by William Forrest Cluverius. Oh, yeah, we had fun with that name. And directed by Gary Graham. And we get a couple more here to do. Adrift was actually written by Greg Johnson and directed by Stephen E. Gordon. On Angel's Wings was written by Boyd Kirkland and directed by Frank Poor.
Frankie Pete.
Yeah, Frankie Pete. The one and only. African Storm. Written by Nick Dubois and directed by Gary Graham.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
Mr. Dubois. Lance Dubois. Yeah.
It's from Golden Girls.
Yeah. Not Golden Girls.
No, Blanche Dubois is from Stranger. That's what I was quoting.
Yeah.
Blanche Devereaux was from the Golden Girls.
Yeah, there you go. Written by Sidney Clark.
That's why I said Dubois. I was thinking of the Simpsons. Ukrainian Desire musical. You can always depend on the kindness of strangers to shield you from evil, protect you from dangers. Here's the best advice you won't forget. A stranger is a friend you haven't met.
But we got Joyride, written by Sidney Clark and Steve Granat, and directed by Stephen E. Gordon. And we're almost there. Walk on the Wild Side. That was a good one. Who wrote that? Greg Johnson, Sidney Clark, and Steve Granat, directed by Frank Poor. And Operation Rebirth, written by Bob Forward, directed by Gary Graham. And finally, Mindbender, written by Greg Johnson and Bob Forward, directed by Stephen E. Gordon. There, now I don't feel so bad. There's retractions, and we can get into it. Yeah.
I think we ran out of time.
Well, it took a while, but, I made a lot of mistakes.
You want to talk about any other mistakes in your life you made that you may want to, correct or at least draw attention to in front of the good people of the podcast?
Well, it actually wasn't my mistake, but I left for freaking 5 minutes to go pick up one of the kids, and Tiffany let one of the cats attack one of the chickens.
Oh, did the chicken die?
Nope, but Millie jumped on it apparently and tried to bite its neck, but just came away with feathers.
A poor chicken.
Yeah, she seems fine. I've checked her out.
Considering she just went through a near-death
She's
experience.
my favorite chicken. You've seen her on the podcast, I think.
You let your favorite chicken get mauled by a vicious,
I didn't.
Monstrous cat.
Oh, Millie is a monster.
I love cats.
She's the smallest cat, but she's like a killer.
You say you had a new Hold Up podcast audio out?
Yeah, it should be there.
It's not on the app that I use.
Well, maybe it's just a slow burn. It should be up soon. I'll double check that later. But yeah, it should be up.
Well, you lied to me.
It wasn't my lie. It was Spotify.
Lies come in very different ways. I use Castbox.
Yeah, maybe it takes a while to load up the Castbox. I don't know. But yeah, there, I just double checked. It's up.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 14, Strange Brew, Canadian Bacon, and I Like Movies. Yep. Should come up on your app soon. Let's get into this episode. What do you think? What are your initial thoughts on this one?
Well, it's an episode, and it's on. It was on, and the X-Men are in it. And Beast's arms are really long.
I noticed that as well.
Ridiculously
long. When he's standing up straight, they still hit the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made him a lot more gibbony.
Or like an orangutan or a tree dweller. Certainly a tree dweller.
No, that's
and he does climb trees pretty well in this episode.
Well, yeah, he's got, he is an animal of sorts, or at least he looks that way now.
I am not an animal!
I'm a free man. All right. Yes. Do you know what movie that's from, Mr. Movie Man?
Yeah, it's from Elephant Man.
Correct. Directed by...
I've seen movies.
Directed by...
That wasn't a lean joint, was it?
No.
Then
a very famous film director that makes a lot of movies that are very different than that movie. You probably wouldn't expect that he directed that movie.
Kubrick.
No. Another fun fact is that movie was produced by Mel Brooks.
Oh, there you go. Mel Brooks is funny.
Yeah, he also produced The Fly, the Cronenberg movie.
Huh. Are you going to tell me?
I feel like I could let you linger it out a little more. He did a popular TV show in the 90s that was revitalized in the 2020s. Or 2018, 19, somewhere around there.
This is a guy
he died last year. After
Gary Marshall?
After announcing he was retiring from directing because of medical condition.
I don't know who it is.
The medical condition was emphysema from years of smoking.
Most of his generation, I suspect.
He had a tall pompadour type hairdo. He talked in his nose like this.
Fincher?
David Fincher's still alive. He played famous cowboy director John Ford in the Fabelmans movie, even though he didn't do a lot of acting. Still nothing?
Nothing.
He worked with Kyle MacLachlan a lot.
Oh, fucking Finch.
You said Finch already.
Lynch.
Yes, you're close. David Lynch.
I meant Lynch.
David Lynch directed The Elephant Man. It is probably
his been an early one on him.
No, it wasn't. It was after. It was after Dune, but before Twin Peaks, I believe.
Definitely before Twin Peaks.
But it was kind of the movie. No, maybe it was pre-Dune. Film. It was. It's probably his best at 1980. Yeah. So yeah, it's pre-Dune, but it was after Eraserhead, which is interesting. So like, Eraserhead was his first movie, so it's strange. It's a very strange in the canon of his work, but it's a very interesting movie and it's beautiful. I remember watching it as a kid. I got it from the library, and I was blown away with how good it was, even as like an 11 or 12-year-old. It was his movie. He did Eraserhead and then The Elephant Man. And then Dune. And then Dune bombed so badly that he went back to making weird movies he wanted to make, which is Blue Velvet. And then Wild at Heart, then Twin Peaks, the show.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's your movie trivia for tonight.
All right. Sorry, it's enough for David. Let's just do a David Lynch podcast. I think we can do that instead.
Yeah.
Get some David Lynch on. What do you think, viewers? Tune in. Do you want to hear David? Well, how would David Lynch direct an X-Men movie?
Good question. I think it'd be pretty good.
It'd be interesting.
It wouldn't be very comic booky.
No, God, no. It'd all be like Magneto would be like in the red room.
It would be sort of like what Bryan Singer tried to do, but better.
No, it would be like
it'd be weird.
I'm trying to think if there's an example. You know those like weird, like in the 2000s when they started putting out like straight to like when Blockbuster started having I know I'm digressing, but when Blockbuster started doing like straight to DVD movies, they do a lot of those. Like they didn't have theatrical runs because they found there was kind of a market for renting these movies. And there are all these weird kind of like, I think after X-Men came out, there was like kind of a bunch of straight to DVD superhero movies that had various
like Man-Thing.
Even worse than that. Like there was one with Rob Lowe in it where it was like a weird superhero movie. It was called like The Imperfects or The Perfects. The Specials came out in the year 2000. And it'd be something weird like that, where it's like a really low budget superhero movie that was written by James Gunn. It was an Anchor Bay. It was an Anchor movie, Anchor Bay, the one that do all the ripoff movies. It was written by James Gunn. Man, I should actually watch this. In a crowded
back in his trauma days,
it's got 50% Rotten Tomatoes. In a crowded and competitive market, wannabe superheroes Rob Lowe, Jamie Kennedy, and Thomas Hayden Church pride themselves in being the 7th best unit in the world. Man, I kind of think I want to watch this. Thomas Hayden Church, Rob Lowe, James Gunn, Judy Greer's in it. Yeah. Sean Gunn's in it. Melissa Joan Hart, the beloved teenage witch. So I feel like it'd be like one of those, you know, kind of like a weird low budget like straight to DVD. Yeah, wow. How did I not know that James Gunn wrote this? It's very interesting.
He wrote a lot of stuff back in those days.
Yeah, his first movie was it Toxic Avenger 4?
No, it was Romeo and Juliet.
That's right. And then Toxic Avenger 4 came after that. So start with the Sergeant. I think he might have done Sergeant Kabuki Man too. But it's so wild. Like you look at the sort of the career paths of some directors.
That's why like people, and he sort of got like blackballed for being sort of controversial years and years ago. I was just like, you all know where he worked, right? Like back in those days, like
and he made a stupid.
That was tame. He was working
made a
at
stupid
Troma.
Joke on Twitter. Yeah.
I know.
He also wrote. I think kind of what brought him to the table was Scooby Doo and Scooby Doo 2. He wrote those. That's what kind of brought him to the mainstream table, I think.
Was that any good? I didn't see either of those.
He wrote the screenplay for the remake of Dawn of the Dead, the James, the Scott's or the Snyder one, which actually is a good movie. It's one of the rare good Snyder movies. But Slither's fantastic. Pardon?
Slither? Yeah, Slither's fantastic.
You know he's married to Jenna Fisher from The Office?
No.
He was? All right, let's get into this. Bring it up.
All right, well, before we get into it, X-Rated is sponsored by Mulder brand Bigfoot attractant repellent. Because you want the Bigfoot to get close, but not too close. Bigfoot, Mulder brand Bigfoot attractant repellent. We thank you.
We do
thank
thank
you.
you.
Get into it.
All right, well, we see Beast going for a late night run. We're trying to stay quiet.
I guess we didn't really get the.
No, I'm assuming that's what he's doing. Look how big his arms are. Yeah,
I know they're huge.
I know, like they're like.
I prefer Simian Beast rather than like Cat Beast or whatever, but this is interesting. It's an interesting design. They definitely went for something.
As a kid in the comics, I never thought he looked like a monkey to me. It was only like because he was just sort of blue and hairy, and like I don't.
But he hung upside down by his feet.
Yeah, but I don't remember him having like elongated ape arms. He just kind of looked like a regular dude. Yeah. Like he had like he was agile and stuff like that, but I don't like gorillas don't hang upside down from trees. Orangutans don't do that either.
But monkeys do. But by their like tails and stuff have like not by their feet.
Yes, they do prehensile feet, but no, it's not. That's the tail.
That's the tail. You know
there's a word for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't. He never seemed that simian like. It was only something that kind of came later, and I think probably due to shows like this, is when it sort of became that. Because he always like if you look at the way he looked in Champions and stuff when he was in the Avengers, he was always just kind of like blue, like regularly human but furry and blue.
Yeah, where he's almost the most simian, I think, is in like the Amazing X-Men run, that Jason Aaron run. He's quite simian in that, but he even has like the bald head, almost kind of like a.
Yes, he is. So that's the way Nick Bradshaw drew him.
Yeah,
in that run. Well, that was probably depicted that way. Anyway, we do see a return of our good friend, Mr. O'Malley, the cat, and my cat showed up right when I said that. Hey, buddy.
Oh, hello. Hello, Lebowski. You're a good boy.
How you doing?
You don't eat chickens, do you?
No, he wouldn't know what to do if a chicken was there, I'm sure. You too, we had
That's
a chicken.
good.
Frodo would probably try.
Oh, Frodo, you little bastard. Oh,
well. He doesn't know any better. He's little. He's little.
Yeah, that's true. He's just
silly. So anyway, the cops spot him, start following him. He basically runs off down an alley. They corner him. You get the whole intro. Then he runs on top of the car to escape. Does some damage to the car and gets away. Next time we see
I found the old banner. Rewind like it's apostrophe 92. Right.
Well, we're not really rewinding. Like you weren't really rewinding to the old.
No.
Like it's the year 92. Yes. So anyway, we see Professor X describing how big his penis is, and look at his face too. It very much looks like what he's saying. Next
I know you're upset, Beast, but look at
my
the firm buttocks you have since you've transformation. They're very firm.
Very firm, very blue.
Would you like me to touch and squeeze them, Hank?
I didn't realize I was into this, but now. So
I had never seen a hairy blue buttocks before until now.
This is a good screen cap. We should do like some screen caps, something ridiculous. Look at his face.
Yeah, well, we should bring back that thing we were doing. We were like that caption contest thing we were doing.
Oh yeah, I guess. So anyway, he apologizes to Xavier for his behavior. Xavier tells him that going out, wanting to get into the world is natural. He's having reconciling his new life to his old personality. Kitty's in the hall with Bobby. Asks if he knows anything about the Redwood Forest. When
kids is in the hall. Kids in the hall.
Kitty's in the hall. All right, nice.
I'm
very Canadian reference.
I'm squishing it. Ah.
She overhears conversation with Xavier's help. They so basically she comes in and she overhears Beast, like Xavier trying to help Beast to get him to be more social.
Like look at the arms there. Look at
his arms are ridiculous.
It's just the forearms. Like
there's really
his
ridiculous.
upper arms are fine.
Like if they use the image inducer, his hand would not look right. It would be way the hell down here. Like his hand would be at his foot if he's standing upright.
But that image inducer like erases Kurt's tail.
Or but it's still there. You just can't see it.
No, because there are no pants.
Is he just wearing his clothes? Oh, he is.
Yeah, he just wears his X-Men suit.
Yeah, where does he put stuff in his pocket? Anyway.
Yeah.
So
image inducers are great.
Kitty comes in and because she overhears that Xavier's kind of struggling to find a way to get Beast to do something social to get him out in the world, and she comes in and says, "Oh, did you ask Professor McCoy about the field trip?" And Xavier reached out to her and telepathically with this look and says, "What are you talking about?" And she says, "It's a good way, like it's another way to get Beast to come out." So then,
Kitty's the heart of the team, man.
She sure is in this show, yeah.
And that's the way it should be. Like that's the way it is in a lot of the comics, a lot of the best runs. Like she's the heart of the team in the old Claremont stuff for a long time, and in the Whedon run. And
well, they convinced him that they were planning to ask him to take the kids out to Redwood Forest. He doesn't really want to. Then Xavier says, "Well, here's your chance to get out with no any humans around and get around." So, Beast just acquiesces.
So it's a great portrayal of Kitty, I gotta say.
Yeah, I agree.
It's pretty great.
We see that Beast is taking Bobby, Rain, Roberto, and Evan, as well as Kitty on this trip because it is a field trip to help boost the people who are failing in science classes.
Kitty's supposed to be super smart, so that's quite surprising.
I think she's just going along, so it's her idea.
Yeah.
Evan, of course, is trying to get out of it because he just wants to skateboard. But
okay, so last episode you said Evan was dropping overt sexual references. Well, this time
the two blue fingers is what I said.
Yeah,
she feels two fuzzy fingers.
So this time, I think he's dropping drug references.
Oh no. Milk?
Yeah, he says he wants to go to the park because parks have green stuff. Now, when I was a teenager, green stuff at the park only meant one thing. I don't know about you, Andre. Nope.
Moss? Grass?
Nope. No, sort of.
Leaves?
Sort of again. Not if it's good.
Marijuana? Is he talking about marijuana?
Yes, indeed. So that's what
marijuana cigarettes?
I think that's what Evan was hinting at there. Or maybe we just think poorly of young Evan. Well, you think he's like doing elf fingers.
Yeah, but horny teenagers is standard stuff. Teenagers doing marijuana, I've never heard of such a thing.
I guess you're right.
Smoking reefers.
Jazz
cabbage, just out there doing that. In the woods.
The electric lettuce.
Dancing with Mary Jane. I mean, I don't know, man. This doesn't sound right. Did you ever watch? You should do. You know what you should do for your movie night? Here's a funny suggestion: propaganda movies. So movies that were designed. So like Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness
was a hilarious one.
It is very funny. Like they'll just take a toke in that movie, and then they're just like,
oh, and then like literally like take two tokes, and then they go and murder somebody.
They beat their wife or something.
Become automatic psychopaths.
Yeah,
I like the guy. There's like a dude that's all paranoid and weed, and then like you get the knock at the door. He opens the door, and there's a dude standing there, and he's like, "I know why you're here. You're here to kill me." No. He goes, "Why are you here?" And he's like, "Oh, hey, Bill, it's just me, Steve." But like, or like a cup of sugar, and he's like, "I know why you're here. You're here to kill me." And he's like, "What are you talking about? I just want to pour some sugar." And then he fucking
you've been smoking them reefers, haven't you?
He just just murders them. So in the forest, you see the kids and beasts are enjoying nature, doing research. We see Rain and Sunspot flirt a little. Rain looks a lot like Squirrel Girl to me in this show.
Yeah, I like Rain in this.
I do too. Cool. And we see Evan get poison ivy after being in the forest.
That was kind of funny.
And we see
I love all the nature stuff in this.
Yeah, it's just kind of a montage of them enjoying nature. Beast romping around, having time of his life, and then he becomes a little depressed. He asks what's wrong and tells us he can enjoy being an animal. But he doesn't want to. And that's not who he is. And Kitty says, well, maybe this is who he's meant to be, which is nice.
Kitty goes to walk with the animals, talk with the animals.
Squeak and bark and squawk with the animals.
We're going to sing a lot tonight.
Sounds like it. So Kitty goes off to gather the students. Beast wanders off thinking he spotted some hunters in his videotape without realizing it. But back at the hunters' camp, they get all excited. But he also finds a fish, and he puts it back in the deeper water so he gets in the shallow water. And
that was my favorite line, I think, of the episode.
Which says, did you lose your way too?
You can't go back either, huh?
Oh, yeah, right.
You can't go back either, huh?
I like
and at first that I kind of lost my shit, and I actually had to rewind the episode. I'm like, wait a minute, that's clearly a Pacific salmon, and I just assumed they were still in New York or something. But then they're like, no, they're in the California redwoods.
The redwood forest, yes, California.
So it's fine.
So they're accurate salmon.
Yeah.
So
now, not intelligent like the majestic Atlantic salmon, which at some point in its evolution figured out how to turn around.
Well, just swim around. Swim backwards.
No, turn around.
So swim and then go like this and turn around?
No, swim upriver, spawn, and then go back where you came from and don't die.
No, how did okay.
The Atlantic salmon don't die. They just come up and spawn and then they swim back the ocean. They don't sacrifice themselves to procreate. They're a little smarter in their evolution.
So then we see a group of Bigfoot hunters that are looking at the footage they found of Hank wandering through the forest and get excited because they believe it's Bigfoot.
There's Dr. Pet. What was his
name? One of my biggest gripes with this, and I guess I could say for next point, is that we have the regular lunatics, like the nerd guy, the nerdy guys that are looking for Bigfoot in the woods, fat glasses, scientific kind of losery nerds, and then we have these guys who are like big game, don't fuck around, ready to shoot, like
working together apparently.
Yeah, like it's a weird combo of people. Usually like the nerdy fat guys with the camera equipment, that seems like the Bigfoot hunters. These guys seem woefully out of place.
The Bigfoot killers.
Yes, the Bigfoot hunters, as they're referred to.
Yeah.
But so then we see Beef give the kids an assignment, tells them to meet them back at the camp. They said it'll take them about an hour to do their assignment, but they can meet back in 4 hours, giving them time to run off and do fun kid stuff and get excited. We see Rain teasing Roberto about being an overachiever because she's like, "Oh, with 4 hours you can." He said he only wanted like 5 samples, so you're going to bring 10, right? And he says, "Well, maybe 12." And but I do like this sort of little
bit of a different take on his character that way.
So, this guy with the chops here, he looks like a Bigfoot hunter.
Yeah, with his Mulder brand Bigfoot call.
Yes, they also make a phone call later, or tell someone they need to get in touch with Mulder, which is a reference, obviously, to the X-Files. And also, did you notice? I was going to save it for an X point, but they play the X-Files theme song when he says that.
That burns one of my X points.
And Fox
actually
both properties.
Burning most of them.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it.
We'll get it.
So we see Beast gets tranked by these hunters.
Man, I like that scene because like it's not working because Beast is awesome. And
I like when they're reviewing the footage the first time. They're like, "Is he wearing trunks?" like the Bigfoot.
Like he must have stole them from a campsite.
From a campsite, and then they see him.
My favorite line is this one. I have that and from that. Where is it? Oh, did I not load that up? Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to continue.
So Beast does manage to take out some of the hunters, but they do trank him. He ends up getting trapped in this electrified cage. Back at Hunter camps, back at the hunters' camp. They kind of look at Beast.
There we go. This
could he be that intelligent? It obviously lives on fish, but lacks the manual dexterity to hold on to them.
Yeah, because he put the fish back in the water.
But like bears drop fish all the time. You ever try to hold a fish? There's a reason the phrase "slippery as a fish" exists.
Yeah, they're not easy to hold on to.
So anyway, what are they? What is that buddy's conclusion?
The manual dexterity to hold them.
The reason there's only one Bigfoot left is because they're dying because they can't hold on to their food source.
It's the only way.
It's so funny.
So anyway, the nerdy scientist guys want to study him, while the macho guys want to get him stuff. It's so stupid. They're like,
why they're working together?
We're gonna get him stuff, and they're like, well, this is we just found a new species, and the first thing we want to do is kill it and stuff it. He's like,
man,
they're like, well, maybe we'll make a code out of it. It's so dumb. Obviously, there must be some money.
People that go hunting for rhinos and shit,
But we know rhinos exist. I mean, those guys are utter pieces.
But we also know there's 10.
Do me a favor, if you're a big game hunter and you're listening to this episode, please kill yourself. Please. But aside from that, please.
Are we allowed to do that? Are we allowed to tell people to kill
I think so. I mean, we're not. I mean, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Just big game hunters.
Yeah. If you're hunting big animals, not to eat them merely for sport, especially endangered ones, please kill yourself.
Every now and then you get those stories they come out of Africa or whatever. There's just poachers
get eaten by lions,
to death by lions, and you're just kind of
slow. Believe me, the world's
good for the home team.
The world's lucky I don't have superhuman Superman powers, so I'd probably just fly around the world, just lasering
Captain
people.
Planet, man. That's why I want to be Captain Planet.
Well, he's our hero. Takes pollution into zero.
Right, he
does. So anyway, the resident scientist.
He's our powers magnified.
He's on the planet side. So anyway, the kids are looking for Beast, who's missing.
Captain Planet. We're just singing as much as we can.
Rain morphs into a wolf, tries to track his scent. Beast ends up revealing to the scientist that he can talk. He's shocked, but then realizes he's not really a Bigfoot and something else. He's going to release him, but the macho hunters come back.
And this Patronet here is pretty cool, man.
Yeah, this guy's actually nice. They tell the scientists pack up their leave. The scientists wish the Beast, and he'll find a way to get him free. On the road, major rainstorm has started. The hunters' trucks are taken out by a mudslide. Beast ends up washing into the flooding river, and his cage sinks in while he's trapped inside. The kids show up, and Bobby creates an ice dam where Roberto powers up and saves Beast. Once he's safe, they'll go back to the hunters who are still trapped, which free them. And they immediately go after Beast again because they're dicks. Kids destroy their guns, scare them so badly that they take off running. The scientists tell Beast he wants to know more about them, and Beast tells them they will someday. The scientist smiles and nods. He did mention earlier, the scientist said there's more like you, and he says like me in that they're different, but not the same. They don't look like him, but they all have special abilities.
We're all special in different ways, he says. I think.
Later, the Macho Hunters try to tell the others about the kids.
Which I'm loving that too. I'm loving this in this series lately in the last few episodes, this slow burn of revealing mutants to the world, like where it's just kind of trickling into different people. It's kind of fascinating. Like we've never really gotten that, like except in like the very early 60s X-Men stuff, maybe. But like other than that, it's
interesting having it routed in as like real animation. Having it routed in like more real world settings, it kind of gives you more room to do stuff like this. Later, the Macho Hunters are trying to tell the others about. I just thought of a new exploit I'm going to bring up. But the kids with the scientist shows up and tells them. But it
don't worry about that. We're getting at it late tonight.
It all sounds very interesting. Yeah, I still got wood to haul in because I had a big stack of it at the back door that I was supposed to do earlier.
Do you have a wood stove?
Yep.
Nice.
I know we have heat pumps now, so don't use it as much as I used to. But we did.
You got out there a cord or two?
I have 5 cords out there.
5 cords? Geez, you go through a lot of wood there. Sir.
We used to go through that much in winter. Now we go through 1 because we got heat pumps last year. So I have.
What are you doing with the other 4?
Well, I'm going to keep using it until I have to buy more. Okay. So I'm just reloading it from my wood shed to my basement, so that it's all in the basement come winter. Yeah, it was nice last year. I didn't have to bring any wood in. Just use what was in the basement. So if I do it now before it gets too hot, I can get it done, and then it's done. No, I have to
be hot tomorrow.
Then all I have to do is pressure wash my deck and restain it, and I'm done with all the stuff I have to do this summer. So I'm very excited. You can just relax and read books.
There you go.
That's what I want to do. Anyway, the lead scientist doesn't back up their story, even though he knows it's true, because he wants to help out the people that he sees as being, intelligent and not needing to be captured or studied. On the way home, the X-Shed Beast tells the kids that they're not the only ones that learned something on the trip, and that they're all who they're meant to be. So he's finally found some acceptance in his new form as Beast.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Pretty sweet ending.
I'm going to keep this one up for my first exploit.
That one?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. We'll bring it up after. So you can bring it down. Just bring it up after.
Yo, here's the word. Bigfoot's got friends. Get the point?
Yeah, that was good, right? Rolls right into X points.
You can downsize that window. Just bring it up when I have my X point. Unless you want me to start with it. Don't we rate it first?
Yeah, we're gonna rate it first. All right. So let's bring that up. New X ratings theme.
How shall we proceed, sir?
By making a call.
Ratings from 1 to X. You go first because I might get silly with this one.
Eight. Pretty good.
Yep. I'm gonna give it a 9. 9. I like this one a lot, and so we seem to really like the solo Beast episodes. Like it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast away. It's not in story wise, but it's like a nice focus on Beast, and it has a lot of heart. Around his plight of his physical condition, basically. Just similar in that way, I guess. And those episodes tend to be good. And I like this little camping trip with the New Mutants because I like seeing more of the New Mutants. I like Patronet. Xavier was kind of funny. Like everyone was pretty good in this one. Kitty was the heart. Just about everything I want in an X-Men story was in this episode. So I could have given it a 10 almost. That's why I was saying I might get silly. But no, I'll wait and give it a 9. But yeah, great episode, I think.
Like Bigfoot?
I do like this Beast, regardless of the weird forearm design.
Yeah, it's not, it's never
he's
never going to be George Booza, but it's still pretty great.
Because he doesn't wax poetic like that. But, he's not quoting enough Tennyson.
All right, my first X point. Bringing my screen back up.
All right, that's all right. X points time, is it? It's time for the X points.
There's no point.
There's no point. Just 10. And
all right, so this episode does reference X-Files several times, but
is this an X-Files reference?
Looking at these three characters, I'm deeply reminded of the lone gunmen, who are the three kind of journalists, in quotes, that run their own newspaper that talks about conspiracy theories and cryptids and all this other stuff. So they're Byers, Frohicke, and Langley. If you recall, they had a spin-off TV show called The Lone Gunman in like 2000, around this time period, that actually was kind of most notably mentioned because in the very first episode of that pilot, it involves people doing a false flag operation in the United States by making a plane crash into the World Trade Center. So this was before 9/11, and it made a lot of people suspect that perhaps terrorists were getting their inspiration from American television, and that perhaps the Lone Gunman had been some part of a connected 9/11 in that way. That's just one of the more notably fun, interesting things about the show. But the show was quite good, and it ended after season 1. It was canceled. However, the characters did show up in X-Files quite a bit, and then they kind of ended the show. They gave it sort of a wrap-up episode in the X-Files final season, the final season from like the 2000s, where they kind of killed off the characters. But they did resurrect one of them in the revitalized X-Files show from a little while ago.
All right.
Yeah, they look like the Lone Gunman. Funny, because how can you be lone gunmen?
There's three of you. You're not exactly lone.
It was actually a really good show. I don't know where you can find
Airheads is a really good movie.
What's that to do with it?
Because we were just quoting Airheads.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot. That was the name of the band, right? In it.
Whoa. Right. Hanif, you're in the dark. I told Hanif to show up and brag because he just won Marvel Trivia.
Oh, congratulations,
well,
Hanif.
I didn't win.
You didn't? You were like up 4-0 last I talked to you.
I was like, yeah, no, I had a perfect score, but then they had a tiebreaker, and I guess I got third.
I'm very.
What was the tiebreaker question?
I'm very disappointed.
They asked me to name every single MCU, or not name. I had to give a number of how many MCU movies there have been since Iron Man to date.
23.
And I was
25.
No, it was actually 36, and I had 33.
Oh my god!
No,
that's way more than I thought.
And I'm kind of embarrassed by the ones I forgot. I forgot about Wakanda Forever and No Way Home.
Oh yeah, we got to include those guys.
And I miscounted because Far From Home was technically a Phase 3 movie, so that counted as 23 instead of 22.
Well, damn. I mean, I'll admit I'm very, very disappointed, but that's fine. You know, you flew the flag. You did your best.
Yeah. No, I was whooping some serious ass. I heard people groaning. I was the only one cheering like consistently. Because you guys would love this one. So the last question before the tiebreaker was I had to basically chronologically place these members of the X-Men in publication debut, and it was it was Dazzler, Nightcrawler, Kitty Pryde, and Iceman.
Okay, I think I can do
Iceman's
this.
first.
Iceman is first, and then it's Nightcrawler, and then Dazzler, and then Kitty.
No, I think it's Kitty then Dazzler.
Kitty before Dazzler?
Yeah, Kitty's for Dazzler.
Damn it.
Kitty Pryde came in issue number 129. Dazzler was in number 130, and it was literally the same year. So
no. But Dazzler didn't debut in that issue 130. She debuted in her miniseries.
It's not helping your cause. It's still before she came.
It's still before she came.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were asking like a bunch of obscure questions that a lot of people like got tripped up of. Like one of them they asked was like, this 2004 Marvel movie was filmed in Tampa, Florida, and I had to think about it for a second. I was like, oh, The Punisher, because when they got gunned down, that was at the Causeway.
Oh, the old ass Punish, like the Thomas Jane movie or something.
Yeah, Thomas Jane movie when they were all running, and I was like, "Oh, I know that. That's right by the bay."
No, that's funny.
Yeah. Oh, they asked about No, this question had me cracking up because they said before he played Wade Wilson, Ryan Reynolds was a major character on what movie?
Well, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
Trinity.
It was Blade Trinity, and I said major.
Yeah.
Major.
It would be a Marvel movie though, so that makes sense. It would have to be if it had to be a Marvel movie, it had to be Blade Trinity.
Yeah. I mean that was the only option because initially I was almost about to say Wolverine Origins, but I was like, no, he was already Wade Wilson. So they said before Wade Wilson. So. And then what was the other one? It was they asked about Tandy Brown and Tyrone Johnson are known as what crime fighting duo?
Cloak and Dagger.
Duh. What was the other one? Oscar Isaac played what character in TV series?
Who?
In what TV series?
Oscar Isaac? Moon Knight.
No.
What?
Oh, I think we lost him.
He said Oscar Isaac, didn't he?
Yeah, but I think
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, was it Moon Knight?
Yeah, it was Moon Knight.
Okay, I couldn't hear. You cut out there for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one
was a great show.
Yeah. The other one.
I can't believe there was 33 or 34 movies. Was that 36?
36.
That's insane. I can't believe I've seen that many Marvel movies.
Well, what is it? I know because what is it? Up from phase 1 to phase 3, it's 23. And then apparently there's been 13 more movies since.
Since phase 3?
Yep. That was 2019.
What? That seems like a lot.
To Wikipedia, he is correct.
Wow.
Yep.
That's, since phase 3, there's been 13.
Well, here's to 36 more.
Yeah, because if you look at phase 4 is Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians 3, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America: Brave New World, and Thunderbolts.
Is it just me, or has phase 4 been as long as the first 3 combined?
Probably they didn't have as many movies in each phase back then, right? Phase 1.
Yeah, also you remember because COVID kind of slumped that up, and so I'm sure they probably had a set schedule.
Yeah, that's true. There was a bunch that came out after that.
Yeah, then they had to delay an Ant-Man movie for quite a while, I think.
And there's still Fantastic Four, First Step, Spider-Man: Brand New Day, Avengers: Doomsday, and Avengers: Secret Wars on the.
I think it's so insane that they're calling it Brand New Day. At least it's not One More Day.
Well, it's what happened at the end of the last one.
Yeah,
Brand New Day was the storyline when they.
That's the good one. That's the one that picks up after One More Day.
Yeah, exactly.
One More Day was the Mephisto thing, right?
Yeah, but then Brand New Day picked up after it. That
made it better.
Well, that's what with the new.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Rumor has it. What is it?
Brand New Day.
Rumor has it. I think that Scorpion and Tombstone are going to be the main villains in it.
Yeah.
Tombstone?
Yeah, Tombstone, Scorpion, and I heard one more villain.
Well, they also just reported that
Mr. Negative, maybe.
Mr. Negative, probably.
They just reported that Mark Ruffalo is going to be reprising the Hulk in Brand New Day,
and Sadie Sink's in it,
playing Mayday Parker.
Oh, nice!
What, Spider-Man's daughter from the future?
No, she's gonna be Tobey Maguire's daughter.
Ew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm kind of okay with that actually.
It's more interesting that way. I don't want to see and who did he hook up with? There's no way Sadie Sink is him and
Mary Jane. Mary Jane and him are still together.
I don't know.
No, they asked how he made it work, and he said we make it work, but it's complicated. So I'm guessing he's still with her in the No Way Home.
Maybe.
Well,
anyway, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for checking in, Anif.
No problem. You guys enjoy your night.
Thank you too.
Got any X points for us?
The Beast one.
Yeah, the Beast one. Retreat.
The Bigfoot Beast one.
I mean, this was a good episode. I was listening to it a little bit on the way home. I do like the the highlight of the New Mutants and how they got like the spotlight on them this episode.
Yeah, Wolfsbane's like kicking ass in this one.
And this is one of the things that I liked when I go back to my point about the things I like about Evolution that are slightly
like when
better
you were saying when you liked it better than DAS.
I said certain aspects about it that I like better. I like this part where they're giving actual spotlight on like lesser known characters, and even Beast is getting like a full like internal struggle episode where we actually get to see like some growth and some origins of him. And
true, because technically he's not a main character in this show, so that's a good point.
Well, he gets added to the main title. I don't know. I think
does he?
Are they? I think they do it on the next season because they actually add him as a reoccurring character. But yeah, on the first, when they introduced him, I think they held off on introducing him in the main title until like the later seasons.
Well, I like it. I like the New Mutants. That's a good.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
I mean, really, this show, I feel like maybe this first season of the show wouldn't have been like such a shock if they just followed TAS with like a New Mutant show, and they're going to high school, but it's like Rain and Sunspot and all of them. That would have been like a different way to go. But I realize you need like Cyclops and Wolverine and shit to like sell the show. But like, yeah, it would have been a brave way to go, I think. And I think it would have been interesting. Like if we'd have got a full New Mutant show, that would have been fun.
Yeah. And like I said before, I'm gonna reiterate, when I first saw the show, I was very I didn't really care for it because my brain was like stubborn. Oh, TAS, nothing better. But then as I got older and I started watching it again and understanding certain things about the storylines and the arcs and like the character development, I was like, you know what, this show actually holds up.
Yeah. I'm all about these last few episodes, so I'm kind of excited. I feel like I'm going to get on this Evolution train here if it keeps it up.
Yeah, wait till the finale. The finale gets nuts.
Of this season or like the whole thing?
Of this season. Well, I mean, the series is going to take a super dark turn come season 3. Because they kind of teased a little bit about Apocalypse. I think you guys already watched that one with the Mesmero. Yeah, they're gonna when Apocalypse starts rearing his ugly head, it's gonna get really dark, and you're gonna be like, oh shit, what happened to this this kiddie friendly show?
Sweet.
And I hope to be back again on one of the ones in the next season.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right. I just got back. I'll let you guys go. You guys take care.
You too.
All right.
You're muted, Dev.
All right, my next X point is okay. Somebody they say the phrase in this episode, the real McCoy. Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did catch that, yeah.
Now that reminded me of as a kid I'm pretty sure it was A&E. Pretty sure, or maybe it was the History Network. Anyway, they played that show, The Real McCoys, so it must have been A&E constantly. So I had a huge grudge against that show because they just played that show constantly on that network, and that network had other good shows. So I'm like, why don't they just ever play any of these good shows instead of just playing Real McCoys all the time? So, but I digress. Do you remember the dance band, the Canadian dance band, Real McCoys?
Yes.
Can you sing any of their songs?
No, couldn't sing anyone.
What about Another Night, Another Dream, but always you?
Nope.
What about Come and Get Your Love, Come and Get Your Love, Come and Get Your Love?
Oh, yeah, I know that one.
Remember that one? Come and get your love. Oh, yeah. Anyway, that's the Real McCoys.
Yeah, it was on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, wasn't it?
What? Did they? Oh, that's Come and Get Your Love. No, that's a different song. My bad. That's Redbone.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No.
isn't that Redbone? Yeah.
No, but the Come and Get Your Love, Come and Get Your Love, Come and Get Your
It sounds a lot like the other one, the way you're singing it.
Oh, I wonder if they sampled it.
Anyway.
They must have sampled it.
This is the first time we see, before we've seen Wolfsbane as in a wolf-only form. This is the first time we see that she can do a human-wolf hybrid form.
No, it's not.
First time in this show we've seen it.
No, it's not.
When was the other one?
Remember, like, Bobby or somebody's just leaning against a tree and
she was just in a wolf form.
And she just, like, pets him.
She was just in wolf form.
Oh, you're talking about the human-wolf hybrid
wolf-human hybrid form, yes.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about that, too, because that was actually really scary.
They'll make it your next point.
Okay, I will. My next point is that shit was really scary. Like, all of a sudden, this wolf is staring you down, and that's scary enough. And all of a sudden, it just turns into a werewolf, and you'd be like, what the shit? That's way scarier than just a wolf.
Yeah, I agree.
and it was like a badass move on her part. That's why I say she was super cool in this episode.
Werewolves are real now.
Like, she just like scared the shit out of them, and I like the way she did it. Rain was awesome in this episode, which reminds me of my next X point, actually. But you go ahead.
This will be my third one.
Yep. I'm going to count Hanif's guest appearance as my next 3.
You can't do that. Come on.
What? All right.
Kitty mispronounces Rain's name as Ronnie. Fairly.
That was going to be mine. I thought my hint would make.
Whereas Logan pronounced it as Rain, R-A-I-N.
It's Rain.
It's Rain. Yes, I know. We all know. We all watched the New Mutants here on the X-Rated X-Men review show.
It's true. Both on Facebook and YouTube. That's one of our highest performing videos. Actually, people like the New Mutants review. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it was it was kind of a shuffled away movie. Like, so people probably like search out a bit.
It had a troubled production run.
Well, yeah, and then that was the big sale of Fox and Marvel, and then Marvel was just like, we're not even gonna release this. Like,
yeah, whatever. We don't care about this shit.
No, but it was pretty good. All right. Well, my next X point would be. Now, maybe she shows up later because in that picture we've seen where we have like the full cast by the end of the series, I think Colossus is definitely there. So maybe she shows up, but it would have been nice to have Magic as part of this New Mutants team. Yeah, and Danny Moonstar for that matter.
Oh, shit. Bowski.
Or do we see Danny? No, Danny's not there. It's Karma. No, it's not Karma. It's Magma.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, in this
Danny
episode,
should be there too.
And I'll make my final X point here. Cannonball, Magma, and Jubilee all appear but have no dialogue. This is actually the first episode.
Cannonball. I didn't even notice him.
The first episode in which Roberto Sunspot has dialogue, which he never had in the show before.
And it's interesting how he needed this connection to the sun to get his power there. Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
All right, that's it. I'm done.
All right. Well, my last X point
fucking done, son.
Okay, my last X point is one of the hunters sounded exactly like Wolverine. It must have been the Wolverine guy doing his voice.
No, it could have been. Actually, I'll give you a bonus one. I liked we mentioned that when the guy says, "Where can I get one of those?" He says, "Go to the Bigfoot shop on 5th and ask for Mulder," and that's when the X-Files music plays, which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
but I like the part at the end. Hunter number one of the hunters says, "I'm telling you, he talked, and those kids weren't human." And the other hunter says, on top of one of them, he shot spikes from his body, and one froze a gun in my hands. The first hunter turns and they nod to each other like they're both corroborating their own stories. And then the third hunter goes, "Listen, we may be obsessed Bigfooters, but we ain't stupid."
That is a great line.
We may be obsessed Bigfooters, but we ain't stupid.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's pretty great. All right. Well,
I also love this kind of like this sort of forced teenage dialogue. This is like kind of dumb. Like at one point, he goes, "Come on, teach when you're talking with the green." He says, "Can't I bring my grade some other way, like going to the park? There's green stuff there. Does the forest have any side?" And he has the skateboard. He goes, "Does the forest have any sidewalks?" Yes.
Yeah, and he's a skateboarder. I don't know where you grew up, but what were skateboarders doing at the park with greeneries?
Probably smoking weed.
Maybe.
Smoking reefers. We're smoking reefers. But you don't want none of this shit.
And then murdering people.
Yeah, because of the reefer madness.
Because of the reefers.
The madness took hold. The reefer madness.
Sure did. It's a sad, sad thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hey, check it.
You go first because I got to go grab a couple things.
Oh, why are you doing this to me? I have to keep talking until you come back.
No, but I'm going to be like 2 seconds. It's like right there, and the other one's right there. You just go first.
All right. My first recommendation. Yes, right, I do. Good. So at the recently in my local town, I hosted a book fair. I call it the Siptastic Book Fair. It is a take on the scholastic book fairs of youth, but for grown-ups. So I often refer to it as a book fair for grown-ups because calling it adult book fair makes it sound like it's porn. But this was a book fair for grown-ups at a bar where you could buy booze and drinks, cocktails, and go out there and buy some books, hang out, chill in a nice environment. So while I was there we had several bookstores locally. There's the Novelty from here in Toronto, also the Coles from the mall, but we also had the Curious Cat from Antigonish, the Comic Hunter from Moncton, PEI in Fredericton, and we also had Ed Brisson there doing some signings of some of his books and his comics. So I picked up a couple of Ed Brisson's books when I was there. One being, he only had one copy of this, so I grabbed it, his run on Ghost Rider.
Oh, sweet.
And also his new book, The Displaced, which is about the city of Oshawa, Ontario just disappears. And Oshawa. But the one book I did want to recommend is one of my favorite series that the Comic Hunter was. I tried to buy something from each bookseller, and I got way too many books, but there's a lot of nice stuff. But the one I really want to suggest, and it's very economical, is this book that I read many of the early runs of, but didn't keep up with it, so now I can read it all because it's got this beautiful omnibus format. Won Best New Series by Will Eisner, written by Evan Dorkin, drawn by Jill Thompson. It is Beasts of Burden, in which a neighborhood group of pets and animals team up. They talk to each other, not to humans, but it's like animals can talk to each other. And they team up and protect their neighborhood from supernatural threats like ghosts and zombies and other monsters. And it's a beautiful book. It doesn't shy away from dark subject matter and sad stuff, even though pets are involved, like cutesy animals. But it is a really sweet book that does some really interesting and cool stuff. And in fact, they do have a special crossover issue with a character you may recognize, Devin.
Hellboy?
Yeah. So there's a Hellboy crossover in there too. It's a great series. I highly suggest it. It's very heartfelt. It's very sweet. If you love animals, you will love it. And yeah, it's great.
I love animals. Not so much when one of my animals attacks one of my other animals, but other than that, I love animals.
But this is $40, and it has like 6 miniseries in it.
It's thick.
All 4 volumes of it. So all 4 6-issue miniseries plus some one shots and stuff are in here. So well worth it for $40.
Well, I'm gonna take us to more of a somber place here for a moment.
Oh, there we go.
Well,
that's getting a little blue.
As you may know, we recently lost an incredible contributor to all the comments.
Oh, yes.
And I think we'll just pay a little tribute to Peter David here by recommending, X Factor Visionary. So this will be the first run, like X Factor Volume 2, basically. The first Peter David run. And, it's called X Factor Visionaries. And I'll tell you what, Peter David, somewhat of a visionary, man. That guy could, fucking tell stories, man. He wrote a lot of great Star Trek novels, too. And, his Hulk run. I know there's some, DC stuff he did that was really good, like Young Justice and stuff, right? Man, Peter David. So, X Factor Volume 2, I definitely recommend. X Factor Visionaries in trade form. But also, he comes back. He basically is the X Factor guy. So you got to have X Factor Volume 3. Or is this, what is this? I think they call this X Factor Volume 4, maybe. Either way, it's X Factor 2000 from 2006.
When they kind of revitalized the multiple.
Yeah. After there was the Madrox miniseries, which he also wrote. Check that out. and then it goes right into the new X Factor, and it's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of nice,
great run. Lots of good, great burrito stuff. What?
A lot of nice comments online about people that worked with them, and I mean, if you had a Mount Rushmore of iconic creators in comics, Peter David would be on it for sure.
He's pretty much got to be up there, doesn't he? And like, you know, he was best friends with Harlan Ellison.
Oh yeah. One of the podcasts I listened to, one of the guys in that was really good friends with him as well. Speaking of Harlan Ellison, I'll slip in another little reference for movies, even though I'm not my segment yet. A Boy and His Dog, starring Don Johnson when he was like a teenager. Written by Harlan Ellison. It's a cool movie. Check it out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Are you?
Yeah, I've seen that movie. It was on some movie marathon, maybe on Space.
What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, doing your movie, The Apocalyptic Wastelands.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it. Why don't you make a Peter David recommendation?
His Hulk run, man. It's like the class. That's the one everybody talks about the most, I'd say. I mean, if you want to keep it close to X-Men.
The Burn run, maybe.
Yeah, man. But, I mean, he's done so many interesting books. But his run of the Hulk is kind of like the Hulk that I knew, you know, growing up. The green, you know, like the smart Hulk with the gun and the
brown suit and like
yeah.
Some team, the Pantheon or whatever.
Yes, that was
what they
cool.
were called. What they called the Pantheon? They were called the Pantheon. But
he also was kind of a big part of the DC Marvel crossover when they did the Versus, which is very interesting to me. Very much a product of his time, but something that I find very interesting. I feel like you could do a whole podcast series just on the Amalgam comics, the DC versus Marvel leading into the Amalgam books.
Yeah, maybe we should do an Amalgam episode sometime just for fun.
I'd like to. I think it'd be interesting to do like a walkthrough of the entire history of that run, like as a separate book.
I mean, Storm loses, so I'm not really happy about Amalgam.
Against Wonder Woman, I mean, she had to lose to somebody.
Storm, all I'm gonna say is like 2025 Storm would maybe win or have a way better chance anyway. Like she would definitely win right now. Now she's like chosen by eternity as like his avatar, basically. Like, so she's like, they've godded her up seriously in the last year or two.
Yeah, I guess so.
And rightfully so.
But I like movies.
Which is fine.
It's fine, Andre. Just like your movies.
I do like movies.
Well, then,
I forgot Peter David did the Death of Gene DeWolf series.
Did he?
Yeah, which is actually
Is that the only Spider-Man run he did, or
no? He did a bunch of stuff. A lot of issues here and there.
Oh man!
But I mean, actually,
make that a recommendation. The Death of Gene DeWolf is a great story.
But actually, the one thing I will highly suggest is I really dug the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series he did in like 2005, 2007. But the one I want to mention the most was the Spider-Man 2099. He's why we have Miguel O'Hara.
Miguel O'Hara, man, yeah.
And that's one of my favorite
Peter David did so much greatness.
Those books are really fun. I've been rereading them on the Marvel app, and they're great. All right, I was going to suggest a bunch of different movies. Mostly this one I just picked up.
Raise a glass to Peter David. You got a glass? All right.
I just picked this one up. It's the 4K of Dirty Harry, which is out now.
No,
but the movie I will suggest, since we're on the topic of Bigfoot, is there are many Bigfoot movies out there. Very few of them are good.
Harry and the Hendersons is pretty great.
That is. Yes, that's a good one. We can mention that one. Harry and the Hendersons is fine. The ones that stand out of being good ones are ones that are generally considered better than most. The Abominable Snowman from 1957 is one that is supposed to. It's by Hammer Studios, I believe. Was it Hammer?
Oh yeah. Right.
It's one of the few really, really good ones. It doesn't get mentioned a lot when they talk about their stuff.
Hammer, you'd start talking about, Frankenstein.
The Dracula and Frankenstein. But Peter Cushing is in the Abominable Snowman.
Is he? He's like the snowman hunter or something?
I think it's just people that get trapped in a counter. It's a black and white film, takes place in Himalayas. But I know Joe Dante's a big fan of that movie, and I like pretty much everything he suggests. So, but there's other ones: Primal Rage, Creature from Black Lake from the '70s, Bigfoot: The Lost Coast Tapes is one that comes to mind.
Joe Dante made Matinee. I question very little of anyone who made Matinee.
And he's fan. Yeah, Joe Dante can do no wrong, my friend. The only movie,
pretty great.
Yes, Small Soldiers, Inner Space, Explorers is the only one that maybe you might raise an eyebrow about, but that was because the studio it wasn't finished.
What's that one?
The one where the kids have to build this ship. Remember the aliens with the hands on their heads? River Phoenix was in it. It's like it's old. Actually, Ethan Hawke was in it too, and he's super young. I mentioned the Creature Boggy Creek. That's one that's mentioned a lot. Abominable from 2006. But the one I'd really like to reference, suggest, is a found footage film, very low budget, but very, very well done, directed by one of my favorite directors. And I know it's weird to say this, but Bobcat Goldthwait, who's made some amazing movies. I highly suggest his movies. They're all really interesting and really
like Police
good.
Academy?
No, he's in that. He didn't direct it. But I highly suggest World's Greatest Dad. It's my favorite Robin Williams movie. It is a dark.
Really?
Have you seen it?
Better than Mrs. Doubtfire.
Have you seen it?
Better than Hook.
You haven't seen it.
Better than Excellent Good
movie.
Morning Vietnam.
Yes, better than all those movies.
Wow.
Right. Well, okay, I'll get to that. I'll digress to that in a second. But he did a found footage Bigfoot movie called Willow Creek that came out in 2013.
I've heard of this.
13. And it's about a guy that's a Bigfoot enthusiast, drags his fiance out into the woods to try to find Bigfoot. It's very low budget. You don't really see the Bigfoot, but very much in the vein of Blair Witch Project, where the atmosphere kind of builds. I don't really care for that movie, but this is a much better version of it. Where it keeps
Blair Witch? You didn't like the Blair Witch?
No, not really. But anyway, Bobcat Goldthwait did some very interesting movies with very interesting adult themes. One that I really...
I'm so scared.
Yeah. It's mostly just people arguing in the woods about the map. If you'd show me...
There's a lot of arguing about the map.
If you had shown me anything in that movie that indicated there actually was a Blair Witch, anything at all, just a shadow, a hand, an outline of somebody, anything, I would have liked that movie infinitely more.
No, the closest you get is like people doing...
You get the guy standing in the corner. That's the big reveal. And it's like, look, I get it. They said that earlier, but just give me something, anything.
Yeah.
But it's just people arguing in the woods a lot. I mean, I will certainly tip my hat to what they achieved on such a low budget. I mean, that movie...
It started off the found footage kind of...
I believe that movie cost like $15,000 to make, and it made hundreds of millions of dollars. So, yes, it was the greatest return on investment for pretty much any movie ever. But, go check out... But this movie's very cool. Bobcat Goldthwait directed it, Willow Creek. It's very interesting, very cool, very disturbing. And
what's that clown thing he did?
Oh, it Shakes the Clown.
Yeah, it Shakes.
So that is a bit of an outlier. That's still him kind of connecting his weird Police Academy movie stuff with him directing. But okay, so God Bless America is about a guy that's so fed up with people's obsession with reality television, everything. He just kills anybody that is connected to reality television. He goes around killing all these people that people emulate, which is a very interesting movie. There's another one called...
There's 85 seasons of Survivor. He would have to kill thousands of people in the real world.
He's just so frustrated with the what we emulate as a society now, and it just drives him nuts. Bill Murray's brother is in the movie. It's really, really good.
Bill Murray's brother? I've never even heard of such a character.
You would know him to see him. He's in a bunch of movies. He just
really,
yeah. Then he did a movie called "Let Sleeping Dogs Lie," which is about a woman that admits... I've heard that one. A woman that admits to a woman when prompted by a sexual partner to admit something she did in the past that was strange sexually, admits a dalliance as a teenager with a dog. And it's not quite as rough as you think it is, but it is just a weird, gross thing she did when she was like a teenager. And she tells this guy, and then he tells a lot of people, and her life explodes. And it's sort of about the importance of having a past, of not needing to tell it. You know what I mean? Like of your
privacy.
Yeah, and it's actually very interesting about how judgmental we are about stuff.
Keeping your own counsel.
Well, even it's a very extreme version of how judgmental we are about people's sexual past. And it's a very interesting movie. It's very funny. It's dark. It's great. But the one I hold in the highest of regard, and there are others that
Police Academy 6.
No.
Okay.
There is one called Windy City Heat, which is very funny, in which they convince a friend of theirs. It's kind of a documentary, but they convince a friend of theirs he's in a movie. So a friend of theirs who's kind of an idiot in real life, they convince him he got cast in a movie, and they make a fake movie that he thinks he's actually in when they just rig it up to fuck with him the entire time, and it's hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
It's very, very funny. In the movie that he thinks is real, he's hired to play a detective who specializes in sports-related mysteries. And his job is to find Joe the Refrigerator Perry's stolen refrigerator. So it's very good.
Refrigerator Perry. There's
the movie
reference for you.
The movie I highly suggest is called World's Greatest Dad, starring Robin Williams. He's a teacher, a single father, a teacher who has a girlfriend that he teaches with in the school. She's kind of a little ashamed to let people know they're together because he's older than her.
Better than the movie Toys?
Yes. Anyway, he has a teenage son. I believe it's the same guy that played the Flash on Smallville. He plays a dick on it. His son's a bit of an asshole. He's a teenager. He catches his son asphyxiating, cautions him against it.
Oh, a Carradine.
Yes, that's what happened. Yes, but anyway, eventually he comes home and finds his son accidentally killed himself while doing this. So in order to protect his sons,
what a fucked up way to die, though.
I know
people are fucked up.
In order to protect his son, he takes him down. He makes it look like a suicide, and he writes a suicide note to try to protect. To try to
protect the memory of his kid or whatever.
But okay,
is committing suicide better than auto asphyxiating?
Another important part is he wants to be a writer. He's been trying to publish a book for years, and he keeps getting rejected. So his son dies. He writes a fake suicide note from his son. The suicide note is released, and people suddenly believe that his son was this super deep, insightful, artistic soul that no one understood because of how well his note was written. So people want to know more about his son. So he starts writing fake diaries and letters.
Yeah, this is notes. So Bobcat Goldthwait, man.
It's such a good movie because it gets out of hand really fast. His son becomes like an icon for the.
He's a dark comedy kind of guy, man.
And
his old stand-up was depressing.
That's what I love. But he becomes his son becomes an icon for the lost and the downtrodden, and people think he was this genius, tortured, lost soul, when his son's friend, who suspects something's up because he really knew his son, knows he wasn't like that. But anyway, it gets out of hand, and of course now his stuff's getting published and written, and he's very excited that his work, even if it's not under his own name, is getting out there. And eventually it gets very out of hand, but it's such an amazing movie because it doesn't take any easy roads, and it's very interesting. It's very good, highly suggested. But check out Willow Creek. It's another movie by the same director who did a really cool Bigfoot movie. Very low budget, but very good. Anyway, tell us something about gardening or gaming, or what are you going to talk about?
Good guess. Your first guess was
gardening. Yeah, I guess it's getting to be gardening season. My wife's got a bunch of stuff out.
It's time for a garden evolution.
Oh, it's not Krakoan gardening anymore, or Krakatoan?
Just imagine what you could teach them in a natural environment.
Do you hear that last one? That was the cat attacking the chicken.
Anyway. Oh, excellent.
Yeah, garden evolution. Well, here's what I'll tell you what. I was out in my gardens today, and you know what? I should almost play the video, but if you add me on Facebook or something, you can see it. I have a video of my cherry blossoms. My cherry trees are just full of blossoms, and there's the bees. They're pollinating my cherry blossoms. There's going to be some wonderful sour cherries. But the point I'm really going to make is, one, you can really do a berry and fruit orchard, because the way they stack themselves is that it keeps the pollinators enticed the entire time. Because first you get your hascaps and cherries, and then all of a sudden you're like blueberries and raspberries are blooming, and your strawberries. You can do an orchard in your apples and your pears. Anyway, they're all blooming just a couple of weeks off each other, and it's perfect. But to even enhance that effect, what you want to do, because if you're just planting a garden, you say you got your blueberry plants there, or maybe your cherries or something. Don't let the rest of it just be empty space. You seed that with wildflowers, and then the wildflowers keep the pollinators on your berries and your fruit plants the entire time, because that's what they really are attracted to, of course, the wildflowers. And, increase your yields, people. Feed yourself. Grocery prices are far too high. And look,
don't worry, they'll come down soon. Right?
No, they're not coming down. And grocery store produce tastes like crap, and it's covered in a bunch of shit you don't even want to know about. So I'm not going to tell you about it because it'll just depress you and increase the cancer-causing things that are already on there. So grow your own food if you can, and if not, find yourself, an organic farmer or a nice farmer's market or something. You get yourself some nice produce because it makes a big difference. Yeah, maybe it costs a little more, but
Also, you know what? Like
you don't have to buy an $8 fucking Starbucks coffee that tastes like burnt shit. So spend that on like organic raspberries or something.
Lately, I've started making a lot of my own. Like, if I want to make some kind of food, I'll just make it from scratch and it's been going well. So,
man, do it.
I made my own. I want to make like a dill pickle dip, and I just made my own using Greek yogurt, dill pickles, lemon juice, dill.
Yeah.
And a few other little things, spices here and there, garlic. But you can make some really tasty, good stuff that's way healthier than buying the other stuff. Like Greek yogurt's not too bad.
Greek yogurt's fantastic. And you, sir, should have a glorious garden where you're living. Living in the country there in Old Barns. Geez, give me friggin' 2 hours in your friggin' yard, man. You have a beautiful.
We got three garden boxes out there that are full of stuff.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you growing?
My wife does it all. She does it all.
She growing some tomatoes and cukes and squash and peppers and all that good stuff?
Yep. Oh yeah. I don't know exactly what's out there, but she tried to grow corn last year, but didn't go very well. But,
don't waste your time.
Tomatillos, she did those last year. Bunch of cool stuff.
People they talk up the Three Sisters garden, which is corn, squash, and beans, but don't waste your time with corn unless you really love corn or something. I mean, corn on the cob's fun. You just throw it right on the husk on the barbecue. That's the way to cook it, by the way.
100%.
But it's not good for you. It's poison to most animals because it's so high in sugar. Like corn, it's just like confection, basically. So it takes so much garden space and it takes so much garden resources. It's just not worth growing. It's better there are certain vegetables that aren't that big a difference in quality if you get them at the grocery store. Like if you grow a tomato and go to a grocery store tomato is basically ashes. It's horrible. Like a homegrown tomato is 1,000 times better than a grocery store tomato. But like a homegrown ear of corn and a store-bought ear of corn, there's like almost no difference. So it's like, don't waste your garden space on the corn, people. Yeah, I guess that's the end of my gardening segment. Don't waste your time on the corn.
Don't waste your time on the. That should be a T-shirt. Just you staring like you're breaking a piece of corn in half. It just says, "Don't waste your time on the corn."
I like that T-shirt. You draw it up. We'll sell it. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we should probably get out of here.
You do that.
It's getting late. What's the homework, Professor?
He's the coolest teacher we got around here, and the nicest. Wait, you're forgetting your homework.
Your job is to watch episode 15 of season 2 of X-Men Evolution, entitled "The Hex Factor," which I believe we beat the Scarlet Witch.
No, 14. We're on 13 right now.
Not according to this.
What?
Growing Pains, right. Power Surge, Bada Bing, Bada Boom, Fun and Games, The Beast of Bayville, Adrift, Angel's Wings, African Storm, Joyride, Walking the Wild Side, Operation Rebirth, Mindbender, Shadow Dance, Retreat, Hex Factor 15.
What am I doing here then? All right, you keep
episode 16 and 17. I guess we could do together, but that's the Day of Reckoning 2-parter.
Hold on. I'm double checking this. Retreat we have is 14. Oh, it is 14.
No, Retreat is 14. I said episode 15.
Retreat is 14. Yeah, see, I had 13.
Hey, boss.
I know, I messed that up. Sorry, people, it's 14.
Mr. Gordon, if you want to just send all of your angry letters.
Oh, hell, Stephen E. Gordon's never going to talk to us again at this point.
No, he's a lovely man. I'm sure he doesn't care.
He's pretty great, and he has Nova Scotia connections.
Yes, we discussed that, didn't we?
Yeah. I think his mom maybe is from Halifax.
Yeah, we talked about it when he was on my show.
Yeah. Which you should, well, you know what? Why don't you just tell us about some of that kind of stuff?
The Graphic Histories Podcast.
Should we tell everyone about what a great disappointment you are to me? No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, listen, dude, mistakes happen. All right, I'm sorry.
True.
Somebody can't understand that, but that's what happens.
You know what? Another podcaster came to your defense on that post.
Oh, did they? That's nice.
Well, they're like, "Hey, I'm a podcaster, and I messed up the time zones once."
Yeah, this is the first time it's really happened in a serious way. So, yeah. But whatever. I mean, I tried. I'm sorry. I apologize. Maybe my mistake, and that wasn't enough. So, what can you do?
Well, maybe it will be. We'll see.
Maybe someday, but don't worry about it, man. I'm not that keen on it. So, episode 134 dropped today with Doug Wagner.
That was a great episode. I could tell how much fun you were having. Like,
he's a great guy.
And then there's an episode where you're like, you can tell you're just like,
because some people are just really glow, like they're really open, and you're really having a conversation with them, and that's the best. Like when someone's really like just chatting and just feels like you're in a good talk conversation. That's when you hit a sweet spot. And
the episode before that was like the same sort of thing as that, but like in the depressing sense. It's like very end.
Oh yeah, it's
like, oh yeah, like my father killed myself, man. And you're like, whoa,
yeah, like can we discuss that?
It's like what?
But it's it's funny, but this is what kind of like.
Well, that's what the show's about, right? Man.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's like that's a really big part of you as a person's probably growth. What happened to you.
So, huge part.
Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, great chat with Doug Wagner. The episode that he's talking about is Dan Price came out the week before.
Yeah,
but then
great episodes. Good.
This Monday we have Peter Sanderson, who will be in the show. Who is a comic historian, worked for DC, Marvel. Was a Marvel librarian for a while for the official Marvel library. He kind of, at one point in his career early on, he got a job from writing letters to DC, the letters page, and that connected him to eventually getting a job as an archivist. And he was tasked with reading every DC.
Man, those letter sections should have gone away.
Yeah, and it got him his job. Basically, he worked on the Marvel Saga books that would kind of tie all the history together.
Dan Slott got his start writing into Marvel too, basically in the letter sections, I think.
Yeah, really cool guy. A lot of stories, and really values continuity and a clear continuity you can follow. We have great conversation about that. So
it is. It's an engaging episode, I will say.
Well, this one you haven't heard yet.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. All right. Remember when you interviewed Peter Schneesberg?
Schneesberg, yes, that wasn't that long ago. It was great. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, that was a good one, but I just get, every time I see that name, I'm just like, my Schneesberg tastes like Schneesberg.
Poor Peter Schneesberg. One thing I forgot to mention earlier, which I just saw on my screen.
Poor Peter Schneesberg. Sorry, buddy.
Don't be mean to Peter Schneesberg. He's awesome.
No, man, he's great.
He's a super great guy.
So was Berries.
One thing I discovered recently just showed up on my feed in Facebook, and I looked it up. So in 85, I think.
The year after I was born.
The year I was born. Marvel put out. Sorry, I'm just gonna make sure I get my year right.
I forget how young you are sometimes, Andre.
I will. 1981. Sorry, I'll be 40 this year. So, 1981.
When's your birthday party?
August 25th.
You gonna throw a big bash, a big 40 bash?
I am. We're gonna do. We're running out the local theater. We're gonna show 2 movies that I want to show people, and we're gonna drink, have pizza. While we're doing that, and we're gonna have an after party where I DJ at a local bar.
Am I invited?
Absolutely, 100%.
I'll show up.
You better be there. Okay. So, I recently discovered, according to, which I had no idea, and as a Marvel fan, you may be interested in this. In 1981, they created 2 98-minute adult-oriented animes. They're not porn, but they're like violent.
Marvel did.
No, a Japanese company did. Directed by Yugo Sarakawa, based on the Marvel Frankenstein story.
Oh,
so it's basically Frankenstein's story, but it's based on the Marvel
was he called?
Comics.
He was called something else. He's like something Frankenstein.
And they also put out one based on the Tomb of Dracula. So there are 2 98-minute animes out there based on Marvel horror properties from the early 80s that are animes.
Does Blade show up in Tomb of Dracula?
I don't believe so, no. But the
Hannibal King or something maybe, or
the Frankenstein one is called The Monster of Frankenstein. You can watch it in its entirety on YouTube.
The Monster of Frankenstein.
You can watch it in its entirety on YouTube. It's also in Japanese called like Koyufu Densatsu Kaki Frankenstein.
These are Marvel licensed?
I believe so. Or at least they got the rights to do it.
Wow.
So let me look up. It's loosely based on Frankenstein, Modern Prometheus, and the Marvel comic book Monster of Frankenstein. But there's also the Tomb of Dracula one, which is called something else. It is referred to the Tomb of Dracula, but also called Dracula, Sovereign of the Damned. Also based on, and the Dracula in it looks like the Marvel Dracula with the little mustache and everything. So these are 2 kind of
cloak with the red kind of like tie thing.
These are 2 kind of forgotten about animes out there that are based on early Marvel properties that are pretty cool. And I had no idea they existed. I just saw a random post about it. I looked it up. They're there.
I have to see these.
Yeah, they're on. You can watch them entirely on YouTube. I haven't watched them yet. They're both. I downloaded them off YouTube. Just
are they subtitled or something?
I believe so.
Okay.
But there's Tomb of Dracula came out in 1980, so they did Dracula first, then. The film was animated. Anime television movie based on the Tomb of Dracula was released. Much of the main plot was condensed, and many character subplots were truncated or omitted. The film was animated in Japan. Sparsely released on cable TV in North America in 1983 under the title Dracula, Sovereign of the Damned. There's a 4K of it out there. Oh my god! I might have to go get this on YouTube.
Who just did that? Who just remastered this thing?
That's what I'm wondering.
Wow!
I'm gonna look this shit up. This is maybe they just remastered the file. They didn't actually like release it as a disc. But
I wonder if we'll ever see Marvel's Dracula in a movie.
This one right here.
No, I know, but I mean, like MCU. Do you think Blade, right? Like
you'd have to.
If they ever make that friggin' Blade movie.
Well, he was in the Blade 3, Blade Trinity. The bad guy was Dracula. Yeah. It was the guy from Prison Break, the big guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So anyway, check those out. That's kind of a lost part of Marvel film history I had no idea about. Wild, eh? You're muted, Devin.
Yeah, check that out on YouTube.
Come back, Steve. Come back.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird, eh? No, it's no idea it existed. Wild.
I just want to see how much they tie into like the Marvel comics and stuff. I'm very curious about those.
Yeah, the Tomb of Dracula one looks like it's closer in comic. I mean, the original Marvel Frankenstein books. I don't know if they like really showed his origin in the deep dive. From what I've seen of what I just skimmed through when I was skimming through the, here if you want, I'll show you. So let me present my screen here. No, it's you don't need to subtitle it. It has American dub over.
Okay, that could be good or bad. Wow, the animation's really nice.
Yeah, it's like solid animation.
Yeah. Where's Frankenstein? Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's Marvel's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's pretty interesting, eh?
Yeah.
And if you want,
it looks like they are sort of doing an origin thing there.
Well,
that seemed like a lot like the original Frankenstein movie.
this is the Dracula. Well, yeah, because it does actually show his whole origin story. But this is the Dracula one. Trying to see if we can get to a picture of Dracula. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah, that was Marvel's Dracula.
Wow, looks like Mephisto might be in it too.
Maybe.
Or at least a demon of some kind. But yeah, see the red, the blue, and the red.
Oh,
yeah.
that's Marvel's Dracula.
I tell you, man, these exist. They're out there.
That's crazy.
I'm
watching these this week.
Yeah, who's this guy, by the way? He looks familiar.
Actually, you know what? No, why don't we save this? We should review these in Halloween.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I wait till Halloween to watch them. But yeah, that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
They're free on YouTube, so anybody can go watch them anytime. I downloaded them off YouTube just so I had them, because, who knows. But I didn't want to lose those. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, really. I don't do the same.
Actually, I had a Flex server so that I can watch them
there.
There
you go. You never know what you'll learn on X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. So you can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men review show. I haven't updated that Patreon in like months. My bad, everybody.
Give us money.
Yeah. Or you can just buy our merch over at redbubble.com/people.
You muted again.
I'm going to buy a new microphone this month. All right.
Wait, why does he keep doing that?
Because it's broken. I took my microphone on vacation one time so I could, at White Point Beach Resort, so I could still do a Star Trek podcast. And then I dropped it on the ground next to the hot tub. And it's been pretty broken ever since. So I'm going to buy a new one. I think it's been a while. Been long enough using this broken mic. You can contact us at... What?
You had a Yeti one, didn't you?
That's it.
Oh, that sucks. Mine's been great.
Yeah, I dropped mine.
It picks up my typing.
Hot tub.
Picks up my loud typing so well.
It does it so well.
So good. It's so good. So good.
In fact, that's what they're known for. It's just like if you want to pick up your keyboard strikes, then this is the thing for you. So, yeah. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. And please like, review, subscribe. Seriously, do it. Like, review, subscribe. Join us or subscribe to us on YouTube. That might help. We're getting close to 4,000 subscribers on the Facebooks. But let's transfer that over to the YouTube as well. You should follow us everywhere, basically. Wherever you're at, you should follow us. And leave us a review. Tell us what you think of the show. We've been around a while now. Tell us what you think. Yeah. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. ufpodcast.com. We do different things here on this show. We're going to do another X Debated here after season 2. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Any final words for the people there, Andre?
Be kind to each other. I had a friend... It's kind of a long story. I don't need to get into it, but we had a friend of ours that we lost touch with for over the years for her reason. We never had a falling out or anything, but her life got complicated and she had some problems. But
distanced herself.
Pardon?
Distanced herself.
No, not really. Well, I wouldn't go that far. It's not like there was like a falling out or anything. It's just she got wrapped up in drugs and other things, and her life got complicated, and wasn't the safest to be around for those in her personal life. But she died recently, so I just found out she was in a motorcycle accident and passed away. We were friends with her and her husband. They had since split up. He's from Australia. He moved back to Australia. Their son also moved back to Australia with him. But she had a lot of problems, and it's unfortunate that this happened. But she died in a motorcycle accident, so it's just, rough news to hear. It just seemed, a friend of mine once said recently that you hit a certain age, that when you're young, life gives you a lot of things. And once you hit a certain age, life starts taking things away. And now that we were getting to that age as people in their 40s, you're in your 40s, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm 40.
40, so you're a little older than me, but not by much. So now we're getting to that age that you start losing people. Like lost a grandmother recently, and it sucks. but it's the way life is. But it's easier to accept when someone that's old that had a full life, and it sucks when somebody made rough life decisions and wound up, through addiction and other things, wound up in a situation that got them killed. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, be kind, be understanding.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
It's all right. Like, we weren't super close, and I talked to her yesterday, but it's still rough. And
this just happened today.
No, like 2 days ago, 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh wow.
Oh, she may have been late last week, but they just announced the funeral today. So, it's be understanding, be kind. If you know someone that's struggling, reach out if it's safe to do so. And I don't want to bring the mood down. I mean, it's a good important reminder every once in a while to check in on people around you, and if you can help someone in need in a safe way, if they want the help, then help them get it. So.
Yeah, I think that's important. Your addendums there too. If it's safe to do so. And...
Yes, that's true. Like, some people aren't ready to be helped until someone is. But you also, and that's part of it. Like, when stuff like this happens, it's like you can reach out and you can try. But if they don't want it, then it's, they have to want it. So, but
yeah, for sure.
Best wishes to her family and everything. I'm going to try to go to the funeral. And life goes on, but reach out, help those you can if it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
And also, my local food bank just sent me a message, because I do their social media stuff, that they are in need of pet and dog food, cat food, dog food, because they had a supplier that recently
donate
and to bring them the food they need anymore. And many, many, many people, I know I would go hungry rather than let their pets do so. So, they shouldn't have to make that decision. So if you have the food, you can donate to your local pet shop. If you're in the Colchester area, please do so. If you're anywhere, donate pet food to your local food bank or your SPCA or wherever. Help animals. Animals are the best. They're better than people.
They're way better than people.
Way better.
It's not even a question. All right. Well, with that in mind, catch you next time.
Getting the message.
That's Hanif.
Who's texting you so late? Oh,
it's Hanif. Hanif's blowing me up.
Go to bed, Hanif.
Hanif, we're proud of you, even though you lost. Anyway, catch you next time, everybody.
I'd love to know more. Someday you will.
Someday you will.
I'd love to know more.
You can find out more on the next episode of X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Good plug.
Not bad, eh?
Not bad.
I'm getting good at this after 1,000 episodes.